never heard that bears fuck cubs.
Oh,
Because bears are like big and cuddly, so you just want to cuddle up and
Wait a second. Every time you see a big fat man, you think about fucking him?
at least cuddling them. I think
That's rather sweet.
if I was to lay in bed with the larger man, I would want to hold him. Right? Because if he held me, if
You'd
he
be
like
enveloped
rolled
in the
over on me,
fucking...
I'd
You could fucking, if he hugs you, it's like slitting a tauntaun, climbing inside. Like a roll and go over the side. You hold it like a blanket, like when the zombies sleep in the net. You just go like that. Touch it, and the gut goes.
it's like, remember he opens it up and it smells, and it's just like, that's what it would smell like too, maybe, because the...
You're talking about the tauntaun.
Yeah, because like the sweat and shit from the ass, mayonnaise. What, tauntauns?
What you're saying, you split me open, I smell like mayonnaise? Could be true.
So, flat ass. Getting back to flat ass and lady.
Please tell me somebody fucks in this story.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna finish up because I know I've been going on.
This is the problem when you see a dude in fucking 3 minutes, he's like, oh, I got a story, man. Naked people in the windows. I'm like, they fuck? He's just like, wait till you hear it. And I realized that I said like, oh, he's got a story about people fucking, but I don't even know if they did fuck.
They did fuck. So what happened is, so the couple over here, big dick and fucking, beef curtains. They fucking go out and the light shuts off, so I'm like, cool, I can pay attention to flat asses lady. And because they kept going back and forth, I don't know what they were doing in the room, but they're finally in front of that mirror again, and the little desk was right there, and they like were doing stuff on the desk and like getting ready and doing stuff, and all of a sudden, she drops her robe, like I said, and he's sitting behind her and he starts holding her, like bear style, like this.
Why are you looking at me?
We're talking about it and shit. He was like fucking tauntaun. She was like, meh. And so he starts going like this, and all of a sudden he starts rubbing. I'm like, oh shit, babe, they're gonna stop. So she gets down, she's like, where? What the fuck? What am I? Oh my god, I'm not gonna watch this. Write an email. So she goes back in, so I'm sitting out there, and they start like rubbing. I said he starts rubbing her. Turns her around, they start making out and shit, he's playing with her boobies. And then I'm like, please don't go to the bed, please don't go to the bed, because the bed is behind the wall. So they start like backing up, and I think he's gonna be like, roar! And shit, and be like, let me lick you up. But it doesn't, the best thing is, she starts kissing, and she turns around and she goes, puts her fucking leg up like this, and dude's like this. And all I see is flat ass like this. But then, so they're going at it for a little bit, and I'm fucking sitting there, I'm getting a little bit of a chub. It was like half.
It's a half.
I'm from a distance, I'm outside, like people are by the pool walking around and shit. I'm like, oh fuck, these people are gonna see me if I just sit here and jerk off. I can go in and have my old lady, but then I'm worried she's gonna be like, what do you only wanna fuck me because you're watching other people fuck?
Yeah, I'd be more disturbed if I was your wife going like, you only want to fuck me because you're watching a fat guy fuck. And you spend half your life with another fat guy.
What does this mean? So I watched him start doing it. They're doing it on a thing, and it's pretty hot. And then he does what I said. He fucking picks her up. She picks her up like this, and just and like straightens her up, and then they go behind the wall. From there, I don't know. I'm very tempted to go down by the pool, start creeping. And I was like, all right, if they see me, anyone sees me, I'm gonna get in trouble, and it's gonna be. I don't know if you can get in trouble, really. Like, what could happen with it?
They can arrest you.
They'd probably throw me out of the hotel. So that would be bad.
They might throw you out of the city as well.
So I
They get all sorts of Peeping Tom laws, you know.
Yeah,
How can you be at that point?
They have fucking. I realized recently they have honking laws. I was eating, and up top there it said no honking, 350 $50 fine. Then I saw a park. It said, no adults in park unless accompanied by children. Which I thought was odd. I'd never seen that. And then I saw a third sign. It said, no standing.
Oh wait, no
anytime.
adults in park unless accompanied by children.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, that's such a weird message.
And then there's another sign I saw. There's 3 signs I saw. Those 2, and then it said no standing anytime. Which is so weird to me because it's like the sign was there. I had to take a picture and I like pointed at it because it's so weird. So I'm thinking like. But it's weird. No standing anytime. Anyway.
That was really sweet, dude. That was positively Carlin-esque. That was really nice.
Thanks.
Elevator discourse. You did a little bit of thinking man's piece. That was very Carlin. And you threw in a little physical bit. Yeah.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah!
The fucking and the flat ass came to something really hard. I wish I could say that I ran down, looked in the window, and dude just blew a fucking nut all over I'm assuming they went to town. Maybe they lasted another 2 minutes. If it was me, it would have been like 3 minutes more of what I told. But who knows? But I did get a little horny, and I went back in, and I was like, yo, baby, what's going on? Fucking email, leave me alone.
If it's a fat guy fucking, I can probably tell you what happened eventually.
Tell me what happened.
He came, they started crying, going, I fucking love you, thank you so much. There's something kind of sweet about us being here tonight. We're doing Jay and Silent Bob Goodall at the New York Comic Con here in the Javits Center of all places. Fantastic.
Yes.
First time you and I ever hung out, ever spent any amount of time together. Our first unofficial date, if you will, was to a comic book convention in Manhattan. Not to this one, because this one didn't exist. But going back to, there was a Fred Greenberg used to do a bunch of shows up here in the city. I think it was the Penta Hotel or the Penn Hotel. They changed the name a few times. It was right across from like Madison Square Garden, right in that neighborhood. And they would hold every other month or every month like convention. They'd rent out top floors and they'd run it for like all weekend long. And I would go up with Walter all the time. I'm from Walter Flanagan. Brian Johnson would sometimes go with us. He didn't like comics so much, but he liked going up and tell him.
Yeah!
And I just started hanging out with those dudes, and we just kind of like struck up a really cool friendship. And they started talking about Mewes a lot. Like, oh man, Mewes is funny, Mewes is really funny. We should bring him with us to the shows and shit. I'm like, what show? But like the show in New York, we should bring Mewes. And I was like, no, we shouldn't. Isn't this kid like fucking 16? They're like, yeah. I was like, I'm not fucking transporting a minor across state lines. That's fucking crazy, man. They were all, then Brian Johnson was like, fuck it, I'll drive that. And I was like, all right. And the day we went, like he was there, and you almost wish it was like the fucking Star Wars trailer for Phantom Menace before everyone knew about Jar Jar. In the trailer when it's like Obi-Wan Kenobi meet Anakin Skywalker, and you see it and you're like, Jesus Christ, he's gonna kill him one day, this is awesome. But we didn't have any historic fucking like meeting, like Kevin Smith meet Jason Mewes or anything like that. I got to Brian's house, and it was Brian, Walter, and you'd already gotten there ahead of me. And then they were like, finally, you're fucking here. I was running late. And I was like, sorry. And then they said, not like tonight at all. And so they said, all right, let's get going. We headed out. We didn't even leave the house. We were heading toward the door. And again, 16-year-old Mewes goes, shotgun, and races like out the front door. Boom. Across the street to Brian's car, jumps over the hood like Starsky and Hutch, and gets in on the driver's side, just immediately plants himself. And I'm like, this kid's got fucking shotgun. He's like, he called it. Ridiculous law.
And I started too, which added to it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, at least Brian was like, are you gonna go over the hood like he did? No. So I sat in the back with fucking Walt, and Brian was driving, Mewes is in the front seat. And the whole ride up, he's just fucking saying all his like, Mewes, just doing all his like Mewes-isms, and those dudes are like cracking the fuck up. Just dying, like, God, you're so fucking funny. And I was sitting in the back like, you're so fucking funny. You're a little jerk, man. Who called the shotgun? Oh, I'm so fucking jealous.
That's when I didn't have I hadn't had sex either, and I would talk a lot about fucking stuff.
Yeah, that was the amazing thing. He would sit there and do a fucking very pornographic fucking litany on what he would do with pussy. And you were like, how much pussy have you ever had? He's like, none, but when it happens. So we go up to the fucking show, and it was the whole ride up, man. He was the conquering hero. And I was like, man, why am I the fucking odd man out? And then I realized why the boys were so intent on bringing him. Because the whole ride home, the tenor of everything in the car flipped. He was in the front, but it was no longer the conquering hero. It was just like they started making jokes. Like Brian and Walter are the king of that kind of hypothetical humor. Shit that me and Mojo like to do on Smodcast, shit sometimes me and Mewes do, where you're just like, what if this happened? And what if this happened? And imagine this. And you just start building this fictional reality. There were two dealers that we had seen him interact with, that we'd seen at many shows. One guy, we never knew their names. One guy we called Cha-Ching, because he had one of these old style like newspaper vendor belts where you press the thing and it dispenses change. I don't know if anybody knows what change is. We used to use it back when we were kids. So anyway, he had this fucking belt on. We called him Cha-Ching. He wore a visor as well. We never called him Visor. Cha-Ching is more suitable. We couldn't call him Mama's Boy because he actually worked to stand with his mom. And periodically he would go haggle where he's like, killing joke is 15. I was like, oh man, let me get it for 10. I can get it for 10 over there. He's like, then go get it for 10. You know? We're like, no, I'd rather get it from you. He's like, Mom, how much can we let it go? And she'd look at it and be like, 14. You know, like $1 off. And I was like, I'm out of here, Cha-Ching. He's like, what'd you call me? You know? That was the one dude. And the other dude had psoriasis, I think it's called. Where you have like the skin thing and whatnot. We didn't know what to call him. We called him Blotchy. Skin was kind of blotchy and shit. So anyway, we sent Mewes over because they had discount comics at their table and whatnot. And Mewes didn't have a ton of cash. We gave him like $10 to go get some fucking comics. He went tearing through the boxes and stuff. Had a great time. Bought a bunch of crap comics. But the beautiful thing about Mewes, and the thing I've always enjoyed about him and why I think our friendship works is no such thing as a bad comic to Jason Mewes. You can never hand him a comic book where he reads it and he's just like, oh God, the fucking storyline was ridiculous. And, you know, the art, ridiculous. It's a horrible caliber, and the book's late, you know, nothing like that. The dude reads a comic and he's just like, that was great, you know. I remember we gave him a bunch of Marvel New Universe books. Just as a test. You know? It came back a week later, man, do you like the books? He's like, oh, they were great. Oh, I just love it. Anything in 4-color and balloons, thoughtful ones, all over that shit. So it was so charming. Like there was no such thing, never has been such thing as a bad comic, bad movie, even fucking terrible movie. Dude was never like, you know, I was like, what'd you think of Jersey Girl? He's like, oh, it was all right. The only one. So there we are coming home from the show, and Brian and Walter start like fucking talking about Mewes, dealing with the two dealers, talking about like, oh man, I saw you dealing with Cha-Ching and whatnot, and how much do you get for books and blah, blah, blah. And Mewes was talking about like, got a nice stack for a good price, very proud of what he had done. And that was the worst thing you could ever do in our little fold, was show pride in anything. You guys had to walk with your head low and shit to avoid suspicion, because the moment they saw your head come up a little bit, they were like, what'd you do, suck his dick? Yeah, I bet he did suck his dick. Think about it, that's all it was. We just insisted each other sucked dicks. And it just built from there, man. And like, it went on a very erotic adventure with Mewes being taken into the back by Cha-Ching to deal, you know, to get a real discount and shit. We couldn't see him, but we could tell he was getting fucked because we heard the chains rocking back and forth. And he's like, you know, first he's like, and he's joining in a little bit, going like, yeah, man, and then fucking his mom was looking, and I ate her pussy, you know, just like, he was into it for a little bit, and then the boys just kept amping it up, and they're like, oh, and then Blotchy gets involved, and that's when Mewes starts getting fisted, and, you know, but he's got superpowers, Blotchy, he's like Clayface, so he turns into a giant dildo, you know. On and on. And we stopped to get something to eat at a Roy Rogers on the freeway on the way back on the turnpike. And the story continues into Roy Rogers. As we come out, it continues into the car, so much so that he doesn't want shotgun anymore. He goes into the back.